All right, 97.7 Outlaw Radio FM listeners, we are here with the one, the only, the legendary. We got Rhymrcka on the line. How are you doing this evening?
Good. Maybe we had a little technical difficulties. It's so good because I got to listen to you rock out. But I was listening to Snoop Pimp Slap.
Oh yeah,
I was
most
there.
definitely, man. I love that Snoop Dogg track, man. It's actually really slept on that song, man. But it's actually a phenomenal diss.
Yeah, it's just sounds like you got to listen to it later and then when you catch on, you know. There's a lot. I got a lot of records that I listen to like later on. They like great shit I never heard it before.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I try and keep the music all uncensored for the audience because we are an uncensored
Yeah,
station, right? So that's why I can kind of get away with playing stuff like Pimp Slapped, because we're uncensored. So might as well just throw it out there, right?
yeah, because I'm always gonna ask, like, yo, can you curse me? And you're like, yeah. I'm like, okay, cool. But it's so good, man. I'm just glad to be here. Thank you for having me on your platform.
Hey, most definitely. I'm glad to have you here as well. But I have to ask you, man, like taking you right back to the beginning, back when times were much, much simpler, man. But I gotta ask you, like, what made you decide to get into the music industry initially?
Just hip hop. When it hit, when it hit, man, it was like a nuclear bomb in New York City. So it was a wave. I was just happy, I was young, but happy to be a part of that wave. Really experience some of the stuff that's legendary to other people that they probably never heard of, but they really have set all the trends. It just got modified. It's the same old trends. It just gets better with improvements. Like shout out to all the pioneers out there. We gotta keep our pioneers close to our culture, to our genre.
And speaking of pioneers, man, you are actually an affiliate of the Wu-Tang Killa B. I have to ask you, how did you get connected with the Wu-Tang?
I just live here, man. Like I lived here. I lived up in the hill. It's here. You know what I'm saying? Everybody we know each other. We just been mixed. So it's like I can't. Like it feels weird when I'm talking about it. Like people ask you about the series and stuff like that. I'd be like, I kind of was there living it, man. So like the documentaries, those same elements that affected our neighborhood, it affected us. So when hip hop hit, it hit everybody that you hear around me. Everybody was hit like that. You know, everybody was just moving. That culture is strong. You didn't have to log on. You lived it. It's a little different feel.
And back in the 90s, man, the Wu-Tang was actually huge, man. So just being able to kick it with like those individuals, like what was it like actually just being able to be around these guys?
It's crazy to see people that you grow up around and see every day. And you see it go from staircase to stage, and then it's like it's global. So it's like all of us at one time was probably rhyming in a hallway or seeing a rhyme. And you aspire to be a star, but when it actually goes into fruition, it's crazy. It's kind of still a marvel to this day. Looking back.
And when you also said documentary a few moments ago, you were actually a part of the documentary Culture of Hip Hop, the Staten Island story. I have to ask you, what was it like being a part of that project, and exactly what part of the documentary did you have a part of?
Um, since that now in hip hop community, it's very impactful, but it's tight knit. So every entry is really a brick in the great wall. You know what I'm saying? It's Staten Island hip hop history, and just making my way. Especially from Staten Island in the early music industry, they're not really. They wouldn't even say our borough. They would like replace our borough with Long Island. No smell to Long Island, but you can see everybody, the whole globe knows about my project, like globally.
And I have to ask you quickly about that pertaining to that documentary. Like, is it available anywhere on the internet for people to actually like watch, like, or like like where can our listeners actually check that out if they haven't already?
I haven't. I don't know if it's released. I haven't seen it yet. I just know my part in it. So I don't know. I have to find out myself. but it's great from what I'm seeing, like, clips. It's so compelling because everybody got a real story out here. You understand? It's real out here. You can tell by the rhymes, the music, the whole impact it has on its listeners. You know, and you can make a whole world want to come to this neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's many times you be outside just chilling, and you see like MTV reporters walking around with dudes and coming through there, news cameras and stuff. Like, it's crazy. So it's a great record.
And one thing I do have to ask, because when I was doing the research for this interview, I saw a picture on your Instagram of yourself and Suge Knight at the Murder Was the Case video party out in New York City. I have to ask you, man, what was it like meeting Suge Knight, man?
We didn't actually meet him. That was the first time we saw him at the Murder Was the Case party. Because everybody was in it. So, like, every third person, you probably see like a mogul or a star artist, you know what I'm saying, or somebody who's really making moves. And what happened was, you hear his name on the records. Me and my man Overlord there, shout out. We went to the Murder Was the Case party. So we've heard his name but never seen him. So when we seen him, it's like, damn, this dude is big. And what happened was, we was in the crowd, we wanted to move, and he was coming through the crowd. So I was like, yo, let's follow this dude. So he was a bulldozer through the crowd. But when I seen the Death Row Chronicles, I was laying down saying, man, look like me. Because I remember, stuff like that. But it's crazy. But he was cool. Like, he spoke, you know what I'm saying? He's real mannerable. You know what I'm saying?
And I have to ask this, man, because I've heard a lot of people say that Suge Knight was a hell of a lot bigger, like, in person than what you see him on, like, TV or interviews, man. Like, was he actually a huge, huge dude?
Yeah, that dude used to be a bodyguard, man. He played football, so that was a big dude.
I'm not gonna lie to you, man. If I saw Suge Knight in the crowd, man, I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. I'd turn and run, bro. That guy scares living shit right out of me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I put this way as well, though. He was in your city, he was on your coast. You know what I mean? So,
I mean, when I say that, it's because there's people half his size that, younger than him. You know, saying not taking nothing from him. But my city is,
But when you were actually there as well, if you don't mind me asking, because this is like the Murder Was the Case video party, did you get the opportunity to kick it with like Snoop or Dre or any other Death Row Records members?
No, it was more like he was young, so it was more like the whole ambiance was there. It was crazy because everybody was there. We had Brandon Puff and Big, on the stairwell. We was all going up into it or something. And he had some all these pictures like that. He had a suede brown coat. He used to wear the Kangos. He had that on and stuff like that. But like I said, he lived it. He didn't log in. So, everything I was saying was an experience. It actually was there. It happened. We saw that. You know what I'm saying? So, you notice the questions you asked me, I was actually there. Or a part of it, or existed,
Hey, but you know what? No one can ever take away that opportunity from you, man. You know what I mean? You actually were a part of history, man. And either way, man, you were also in a documentary. If you look at it like that way as well, you were in the Death Row Chronicles.
I mean, had the chance. It was cool too.
And also, you were the member of Raekwon's rap group, American Cream Team. I have to ask you, how did you get connected? I already know how you got connected with Raekwon because of the Wu-Tang, but how did the Cream Team come together? Like, how did that group form?
That was him and Palace Pet Project. So he's putting together, a group of talented individuals, and he's picking them from. I think it was more like picking them from all the boroughs, trying to fuse a group together. I came on the floor. They had other people here in place. When I came down, it's like, yo, give me song where he was like, any song you want to get on, get on. If you feeling, that shit joint, hop on. You know what I'm saying? From the source. I'm working. I got my own deals. I was out here, I'm like a merciless. So, and I'm from the brain. Like, everybody grew up knowing each other. And that's basically it. And the rest is just, what you're working.
And I have to say, man, Raekwon is actually such a phenomenal individual, man. Like, I actually grew up listening to Only Built for Cuban Links, his studio record there, man. It's an absolute classic. But I have to ask you, is the Cream Team actually still around, man, or did you guys kind of go all your separate ways?
Well, we lost quite a few. We lost our first loss was Chip Banks, Banky Santana. We lost Mel Carter, and then we lost Lawson Carter. And when we lost Chip Banks, that's like, people watch these movies. People die. Oh, you gotta do it for him. Like, no, it's real life. It kind of neutralized a lot of things. Real stuff. Real talk. We just did me, Ray, Baby Dad, people from live with Chef at the Red Rooster for People Links tribute.
And also, aside from the... Oh, sorry about that. I was just saying, also, aside from your music side of things, you also made your Hollywood debut in the indie cult film Black and White. I have to ask you, how did you land that role, and what made you decide to actually start getting into acting?
I mean, the group was, the group was acting. It was about it. He had a movie deal before he had a record deal. I've never seen that before. So he was already doing movies. I started scoring in the movie. Some of the music I helped score. Infinite Architect, shout out to them. My first thing, I was like, at that time too, I started producing. So that was like doing a Hollywood movie. That's real big.
And I have to ask you,
so many names is attached to that. It's heavy hitters attached to that movie. A cast of heavy hitters.
And do you think, like, nowadays, man, if someone was to hit you up and get you on a film, like, is that something you want to get back into, is doing movies, or do you just want to stick to your music currently?
Well, I like to I edit, shoot creative shorts, content, do a little, I do creative writing and stuff like that. So it's all good. That's something, definitely when I got into it, my cousin Sean, the CKOR-DB producer, I was doing a filming, any film he was doing. He's like, yo, you got a presence on it. You might want to consider doing that from time to time. That's just what it is. Most of the time, I'm like behind the scenes on the creative side.
And also, I noticed as well that you were actually featured on Phantom of the Beat's autobiography. If you don't mind me asking, how did you get connected with Phantom of the Beat? And of course, what was it like working with him? Because he is a phenomenal, phenomenal producer.
Yeah, that's my man. Like I said, I know him. Like, we grew up together. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, the hip hop community on Staten Island is very impactful, but it's a tight knit. You know what I'm saying? And we grew up together. We just heard shit, and we hung out together. UMC, shout out to Quads. We had a whole squad, man. And we had people staying around, people in New York was off the album. Plus, I stayed in Brooklyn too, so I'm always, getting off the album, and that was our vibe. So when UMCs came out, I was with them around that time too. They came out, they like all of them are like big brothers. They older than me the other way, but that came out, so I knew them. What happened was I had moved down into music, then I moved, and then I kept, I like to look at album covers. I like to read the credits on the album. I like doing that stuff, like to see who did what. And I kept seeing this name, like, on all these beats, Phantom of the Beat. And Apollo Kids, I seen the video, it was like, Phantom of the Beat. I was like, who is Phantom of the Beat? This guy's everywhere. So I'm just finding out he's Phantom of the Beat. So I seen him downtown. I was working on my project, and he was like, yo, I ain't got a track on your album. I said, I'm in India, I'm out of pocket, yo. I can't afford you. And he got mad. He said, yo, you know what I'm saying? We homies, we my people. We go back. He hit me with some beats. I hit him with autobiography. And that's what it is. So people like, how'd you hook up with him? I'm like, childhood friend. Simple as that.
And that's what's up, man. Like we actually had him on the station a couple months back, and he put together a masterpiece for 50 Cent and Little Kim.
Yeah, that magic spin. It's crazy. Like, he's hit people off, man. And I guess when we get together, we got good chemistry. Of what we do now. And that's, we could kick it bug out like Lookout Boy. We made that right there in the living room. It was like, yeah, that's it right there.
And also, recently you released a single titled The Matrix. I have to ask you, what's the inspiration behind that phenomenal song? And of course, where can our listeners buy or stream themselves a copy of that particular single?
You can get The Matrix on all the streaming platforms, Tidal, iTunes, Spotify, Amazon Music, Deezer. It's on all of them. When you got a phone, iPad, internet, you can get to it. The Matrix is like, it's like my observation of what was going on, and from what I knew already, and to actually see the pieces being played, you looking around and you're looking at the side, like, man, it's starting to unravel. But it's like it's happening slow and systematically to the unaware person. It's just life as is. But really, it's like, nah, all this stuff is a little bit, connected and more controlled than you think. So I was just basically giving them my observation, kind of like Nelly Mel, because that's what inspired me. I mean, with the message, he changed rap. Before Nelly Mel made that song, he just was bragging about yourself. When he made the message, he turned the light off of him into, making it existential to rhyme about what's going on, what do you see, existence. And after that, he gave rap social commentary. So a lot of the best MCs are like reporters of life. And if you look through the timeline of hip hop, the artists reflected the times that the society lives in. Only time it's not reflective of into the society we live in. That means they've been dumbed down.
And so, Rhymrcka, I have to ask you, what is next for you? Is there anything I happen to miss during this interview? Anything else you still want to promote? We still have you here, live on Outlaw Radio FM?
Well, my social media contact, you can reach me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. My handle is RHYMRCKA. That's for all three of them: Twitter, Facebook, IG. The website is VTNdigital.net. After the Matrix, pushing to put out a solo project. I've been, asked about it, so I've been kind of tight-lipped about it. I won't tell nobody the title or anything, but I'm close to it. It's more like 2021, maybe the first thing in 2021, but I'm trying to get it out for 2020. But I'm close.
Hey, hopefully you do get it out within 2020, but if not, I'm pretty sure, we need some good positive stuff for 2021. So if we have, me personally, as a fan of yours, if I have to wait till next year, that's good. It gives us something to look forward to, because this year has just been terrible, man.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, it's crazy, like, from every angle, to like the election. This is fucking pitiful, man. The choices get crazy, man.
I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I really do think that 2020, man, like 100 years from now, people are gonna be like, dude, like if you survive you survive 2020, you can survive anywhere. I can see the T-shirts coming out, man, in a couple of years.
Yeah, man, this is gonna be the year that people talk about. It's like I mean, to think about it, in our lifetime, we had experienced in a pandemic and social distancing and quarantine and stuff like that. You read about it in history, but to actually have something like that, taking place in your own time frame is crazy. So, I'm in the audience like you. It's one hell of a ride. Movie then.
And I gotta say, Rhymrcka, quickly before I let you go, man, thank you so much for everything you did for hip-hop, man. In my personal opinion, you have always been a heavy hitter out here on the East Coast, man. So thank you for actually just everything you did for hip-hop, man, and I'm looking forward to hearing some of your brand new projects when they do come out.
Definitely, man. I'm glad to share them with you, man. Thank you for having me on your platform, man. Letting me be on your show. I appreciate that, man.
Hey, man, you are most certainly welcome. Most certainly welcome, man. Anytime you want to come back, just hit me up. We most definitely can work something out, man. You're always welcome on 97.7 Outlaw Radio FM.
I appreciate that. The Matrix, out now, everywhere, on all streaming platforms. Rhymrcka, DC Entertainment.
You already know, everybody. Get it or you will regret it. Thank you so much, Rhymrcka. Have yourself a wonderful night, man. And, you know what I mean? Try to be safe out there.
All right, man. You too. Peace.